Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I'm sorry about that. And I am back with a My 2 Cent video for this week for March 16th to the 22nd, 2025. And I apologize if I'm still coughing and everything like that. I'm still fighting off the cold and everything like that. I am certainly better than I was last week, but damn coughing and all is still sort of lingering around and everything like that. So I'm still trying to fight it off and all. So I apologize in advance if you hear me coughing and everything like that. I know that's not something you guys want to hear out there, but unfortunately with the cold, I don't have any control over it. So I'll try to do the best I can with this video and all. But in any way, though, we do have 4 stories to cover, including the Circana numbers that have recently came out, though. Sakurai, the creator of the Smash Bros. Series, comes out and makes an interesting comment in terms about Japanese developers and in terms of trying to appeal to Western taste and everything like that. Reports coming out that it does seem to indicate that Starfield could be making its way over to the PS5. And an interesting patent has come up in terms of regarding the possibility of Switch's excuse me, sorry. Use of AI upscaling for the upcoming, Switch 2 and everything. If you're interested in where I got the source of these information, links will be in the description of this video, so you can watch this on YouTube, along with the timestamps as well if you want to skip to certain parts of this video and all. But before we get started, I like to do what I like to call the Quick My 2 Cent. Basically stories that kind of caught my attention, but I'm not going to go into a huge amount of details or anything like that. The first one has to do with supposedly a rumor and all about Metroid Prime 4, and that the report seems, at least according to this rumor, seems to indicate that Metroid Prime 4 could be shown during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct coming on April 2nd, though. Now, it remains to be seen if this report is actually true or not. We don't know 100% for certain and everything like that, though. But I wouldn't rule out the possibility that Metroid Prime 4 could technically be a cross-gen title, meaning it could be available on the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 as well. So it's certainly not out of the realm of possibility that that could be the case. But we'll find out April 2nd if that report turns out to be true or anything like that. We also learned that the free-to-play game Star Wars Hunter will be shutting down later this year and everything like that, which is kind of interesting considering this game didn't even last a year or anything so forth. You could argue it fared better than, say, Concord to a certain extent, but it does show that it's not easy to break into this live service market, though, as a lot of some of these companies are trying to push forward because of that recurring user spending and everything like that, but it's very difficult because you really have to pull people in for that, though. Not to mention, not everyone's going to have the time and money to spend on a live service game and so forth. So, unfortunately, another live service has bitten the dust, and that is Star Wars Hunter. So, we also learned that supposedly, according to Saber Interactive, it does seem to indicate that the so-called remake of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is still in development. For those who are not familiar, this game was announced during one of Sony's State of Play. It was supposed to be an exclusive basically for the PS5, and it being handled by Asperity that has done several ports or remasters here and there. Some people like some of the ports they did, others don't. But apparently we learned that afterwards that supposedly a vertical slice of the game was shown, and supposedly Sony and Disney and LucasArts was not pleased with this, so they pulled Asperity off. I think some of the employees who worked on it were fired and basically gave the game to Saber Interactive. There were reports claiming that the game was dead and all, but supposedly Saber has come out saying that it's not. It remains to be seen if that game will still see the light of day or not. It could maybe push to a PS6 title. That's always a possibility, but time will ultimately tell in terms of this Old Republic remake if it sees the light of day or not. We also learned that supposedly there is, in terms of the box for Xenoblade Chronicles X, which comes out this week, there is basically a mention of sort of the label of what they could expect in terms of the game and everything like that. One person pointed out during a PEGI rating, which is, I believe, the rating in Europe, I think Europe or Great Britain and everything, that had the word sex on it though. However, it turns out to be, it's not what people are thinking. It's basically doing some of the languages or some of the stuff that may come off as a bit risque and everything like that. At least that's how the rating is in other countries and everything like that. Kind of funny to be exact, spot that on that rating system here, because over here we have it as rated T for teens, and some of the comments they mentioned is suggested themes and all. So those who are hoping that, thinking that they're going to see any of the cast, quote, get their freak on, sounds like you're in for a disappointment though. I mean, there's always fanfiction.net, Archives on Our Own, or Divine Art, or any other place that would promote Rule 34 or 69 or anything like that. So hope for those who are hoping for that, might be a bit disappointed if they pick up Xenoblade Chronicles X. Continuing with Xenoblade Chronicles X, there is a report coming out that seemed to indicate that someone found what essentially is a hidden 60 FPS mode in the game and everything like that. Now, supposedly the game runs at 30 frames per second. How stable it is remains to be seen. Although, given Monolith Soft's track record, I'm going to assume odds are more in favor of it. It could be a stable 30 FPS, but we'll have to wait and see to be exact. As far as this 60 FPS mode, or this hidden 60 FPS mode, we don't know if this is basically maybe just something they forgot to take out, or it's a possibility, and some are speculating that this could be maybe something we could see in the Switch 2, that if you pop in the Switch 1 game, you might see a more enhanced version. I mean, that's a possibility, and I can't rule that out entirely though, but for now, I'm going to take a wait and see if that truly does happen or not. We also learned that the former co-creator of the PlayStation brand, or the PlayStation system itself, has the original prototype of the Nintendo PlayStation in his closet. Now, supposedly this was sort of a collaboration between Nintendo and Sony. I believe I remember hearing that this back in the early 90s and all, but some sort of issue emerged and both of them parted ways and everything like that. Nintendo will continue with, the Super Nintendo, and Sony would move on and create what would essentially be the PlayStation, which was released back in 1995. But still, kind of interesting to hear that he has this prototype and everything like that. We also learned that there has now been push of basically in the US and Canada for a new industry-wide union though. For those who are not familiar, there has been some push over the years of unionization in the gaming industry by employees. Some of it has to do with some of the decisions some of the higher ups have made over the years. I mean, we've seen, I think video game testers at Activision Blizzard had pushed for unionization. Excuse me. Recently, we've seen in Microsoft with Bethesda and all. So there has been certainly push, and I, for one, am not against this. I think this is good. I still think it's important that the employees make the decision of whether they want to unionize or not, but I certainly think this is a very good thing indeed, and it's nice to see that we're seeing a push for unionization outside of the traditional, blue-collar worker and everything like that. Not that I think unions will abandon blue-collar workers. I don't, but it's nice that we're seeing jobs you traditionally not view as a blue-collar worker work to unionize and all. And even, dare I say, even maybe white-collar workers as well. We also learned that Nintendo is basically part of this game initiative for announcing they're part of this accessibility that helps with gamers with disabilities, sort of basically telling them what features they could find in the game in terms of that could help those with, different kinds of accessibilities and everything like that. I think this is a good thing indeed. I think it's great if it helps bring, those who may have disabilities but want to enjoy gaming in general. I think this is good if this helps inform them about what they can expect to see in the product before they decide to purchase it and all. So I think this is a step in the right direction, just like I think like that all accessible controller that we've seen Sony and Microsoft have pushed out before. I think that's good, although I would like to see Nintendo try something like that too, but still I think this is a very good thing indeed. And last but not least, there are reports coming out that Assassin's Creed Shadow, which comes out this week, has crossed supposedly the 1 million player count on Steam. Now, this could be read in many different ways, though. It's still, we don't know what the sales numbers for Assassin's Creed Shadow is, since the game is going to be launched, has already launched. And it remains to be seen where it will place once the Circana numbers come out, though. But so far, it seems on Steam, off to a good start. We'll see how long that lasts, and we'll see how well it's received from folks, on the PlayStation or on Xbox in general, though. And so far, the reviews have been good for Assassin's Creed Shadow so far. Whether or not this will help or save Ubisoft, that remains to be seen. I'm not 100% sure, even with all the good news coming out for Assassin's Creed Shadow so far, is going to help Ubisoft, considering a lot of the bad decisions did come from the higher ups that kind of put Ubisoft in the position that it is right now and all. And in the movie and TV show part of the Quick My 2 Cents, we are learning that supposedly where the new Daredevil Born Again takes place during, following, a continuation of the Netflix Daredevil series. Supposedly, the report seems to indicate it takes place 7 years after the Netflix series, which is certainly kind of interesting indeed, though. I've watched 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. I like what I'm seeing so far. Let me say that. We also learned that Phil Spencer has commented on gaining confidence of what they're doing in terms of bringing their games to film and TV, though. I would say right now, it's kind of been a hit and miss, to be exact, though. Halo has sort of been controversial, depending on who you're asking. There are some who liked it, some who hated it, though. Sadly, that show ended after the 2nd season. There are those who believe a 3rd season should happen and all. But Fallout on Amazon seemed to have done very well and it's gotten positive response and everything. Excuse me. And so far, we're looking forward to Season 2. And of course, we have the Minecraft movie that's coming out basically next month. We'll see how well that one's done. I'm not sure about that one, but we'll see how well it does in the box office and everything. But so far, they're claiming they're learning about basically in terms of what would and wouldn't work in terms of taking their games and putting it on film and TV. It'll be interesting to see if something like Fable makes its way to film or TV for that matter. We're also learning that American Dad will return for season 20, and it's also going to be returning to Fox in general. For those who are not familiar, I believe it was basically at one point it was on Fox before moving to TBS, though, but now it seems to be returning to Fox and everything, and I think that certainly is good indeed. We're also learning that basically the box office for Snow White so far seems to have got off to an interesting start. It had so far earned $3.5 million, though. This one is kind of interesting because there have been some controversy surrounding this film, but so far reviews or previews seem to be pretty good, though. Whether or not this will do well at the box office remains to be seen. Some of that will be what expectation Disney was hoping for this, but right now it seems to be $3.5 million seems to be off to an interesting start. Time will tell how well it does in the long run. And last but not least, we have a report coming out that despite having some Emmy Award-winning shows and shows that seem to click with audiences, though, Apple is losing over about $1 billion per year with Apple TV Plus, which, yeah, that's not pretty good and everything like that. And it does raise questions about the future of Apple TV in general, since some of their services like Apple Arcade isn't garnishing the attention that they were hoping for. It's pretty much part of the Apple One program now and everything like that. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see at what point does Apple continue with Apple TV Plus, or whether they decide to ditch it altogether and everything. Okay, with the Quick My 2 Cent part now done, along with the movie and TV show part of the Quick My 2 Cent, we'll get started with our first story, and this one has to do with a interesting patent that has shown up in regards of the Switch 2's AI, possibly, AI upscaling and all. Now, ever since then, there have been rumors back and forth about what we could expect to see into the Switch 2 and all. Excuse me. Some of the rumors have pointed towards the fact that the Switch would be powered by NVIDIA's 239 chipset and everything like that. And there's been reports over the years that there will be DLSS basically inserted into basically the Switch 2. Supposedly this is this deep learning sample thing. We've seen this used mostly, I think up to this point we've seen it used on PC, but we've also started to see it recently with, I think AMD has done some deep learning sample, although supposedly not as good as NVIDIA's. I think the PS5 Pro uses some sort of deep learning sample. So we're starting to see more and more on that though. And this recent filing indicates that it's sounding more and more likely, assuming this patent is true, that more than likely that the Switch 2 is going to use AI upscaling or some form of DLSS. In an article from Nintendo Life, it reads, quote, "A new updated patent published on March 13th, 2025 provide further detail on the Nintendo's proposed AI resolution upscaling solution for the Nintendo Switch 2. Though the idea of AI upscaling for the new console is not a new one, with the previous patent specifically mentioning NVIDIA's DLSS technology, this latest filing leads to even further support to the notion. The patent goes into details regarding how AI upscaling can be implemented and even included some tasty diagram to explain how it works. Essentially, it starts that a native image of 540p can be upscaled via image conversion, if I'm saying the name correctly, and therefore output a 1080p via the relative display. The theory with this is that Nintendo will be able to release games that require less storage than those that would otherwise display natively at a higher resolution." And the article mentions some of the patents and everything like that and all. Now, I will say, sometimes patents, sometimes companies fill out patents here and there are times some of these patents will not see the light of day. That said, we have seen situations where, despite that, though, some patents do end up, seeing the light of day and so forth. I mean, the Switch 2, at one point it was called the NX. There were certain patents here and there, what we could expect to see, until we eventually got the official system itself. Do I think this patent is true? I'm leaning towards most likely the answer is yes. I do think that Nintendo will use AI upscaling, or at least some form of NVIDIA's DLSS. There has been some reports that Nintendo might add their own AI upscaling or some sort of stuff there, and that is a possibility. But given the partnership Nintendo and NVIDIA has had, I wouldn't be surprised of using the NVIDIA's own DLSS. Now, how the AI upscaling will be used on the Switch 2, that remains to be seen though. Although I'm more in the camp of, while I do think it's going to be impressive, I wouldn't be surprised if there are some modifications here and there compared to what you would normally see, like say on the PC, for those who game on PC in general. Because as much as I like the Nintendo Switch, I am a long-time Nintendo fan and everything, you cannot deny the fact that the Switch is a closed box compared to the PC, which is more of an open box and everything. So yeah, I think there's more than likely the odds are this patent is true, and I still think the DLSS will be impressive, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some changes or modifications here and there. So overall, I think odds are this patent is correct, but again, hopefully by April 2nd, we'll know for certain. Nintendo will spill more of the beans of what we could expect on the Switch 2, and hopefully we'll get a good idea and hopefully know for certain what's inside the system itself. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2. And this one has to do with reports on the possibility of Starfield coming to the PS5 and all. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the situation that seems to indicate that Starfield could be making its way over to the PS5 and all. Now, Starfield is sort of a title that got a mixed response depending on who you're asking, though. There are those who like the title, and there are those who hate it, though. My take on it, based on my time with the game, especially playing it on the Xbox Series S, is that I would say, as far as Bethesda's games go, I view Starfield as probably one of their best ones that they have worked on so far. I think it's definitely improves the formula a little bit in some areas here and there, such as I think the gunplay is definitely better than, say, like what Fallout 4's gunplay was to a certain extent. So I do think it is an improvement over the type of games Bethesda has made. But still, you cannot deny the fact it is still a Bethesda RPG, and that kind of game may or may not appeal to a lot of folks out there. So a lot of that will come down to your preference and taste in general. And since then, we've seen some updates here and there. Some updates that have been good, like an improvement of the map, which I think is great, and the use of a vehicle to make traveling around the planet a little, I would say, better, though. So that certainly is nice indeed. But there's also been some mixed response, such as the Shattered Space expansion pass, expansion, the DLC didn't exactly sit well with everybody out there and all. But since then, there have been some talks about the possibility of whether or not Starfield could be coming to other systems and everything. There have been some rumors here and there about it possibly coming to the Switch 2, and a lot of that has to do with Microsoft's approach recently, as they've been pushing more and more of their games, even first-party games, basically to other systems, though. We know that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is going to be making its way to the PS5. We know that recently it was announced that Forza Horizon 5 would be coming to the PS5 as well. So some of this doesn't really surprise me or anything like that. And supposedly now we're learning that it seems that Starfield could be the next game and everything. In an article from Video Game Chronicles, it reads, quote, it reads that, quote, on Friday, or last Friday to be exact, users spotted that a creation post on Starfield's user creator content library had a PlayStation logo on it, lists of available platforms along the Xbox and PC. This content was soon removed but archived on Reset Era. A PS5 port of Starfield has been expected ever since Xbox shared its vision of the future of Xbox a year ago, when it confirmed that Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, and more will no longer be Xbox console exclusive. Other former Xbox exclusives have also been ported over to the PS5, such as Forza Horizon 5 and all. Now, although this was deleted, though, do I think that Starfield is going to make its way to the PS5? I would say odds are more in favor of it happening, so I would say the answer is yes. When you look at the direction Microsoft is going lately, though, I would not be shocked to see Starfield make its way over to the PS5. I mean, I would also be shocked if they ported it over to the Switch 2, which I will admit I wouldn't be completely against that or anything. Whether or not the audience is there for that system, for that game or not, that remains to be seen. We don't know 100% for certain if there will be an audience that are willing to play Starfield on the PS5 or PS5 Pro, or even Starfield on the Nintendo Switch 2, assuming the rumors about it are true. So that remains to be seen, but I will admit I would not be completely shocked whatsoever if I see Starfield on the other system. I think the biggest one would probably be Halo, if a new Halo game or if Halo Infinite make its way over to other systems. That I think would be really interesting to see, though. I mean, with Starfield, I'm not so sure about it, considering that, it's from Bethesda, and Bethesda has also been, have been third party in the past and everything. So time will ultimately tell if that happens, but I would say odds definitely favor this game coming to the PS5 and all. So overall, I would say don't be shocked if you see Starfield make its way over to the PS5 and all, or the Switch 2. And a lot of this, as I said, has to do with the direction Microsoft has been going lately and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 3. And this one has to do with a comment made by Sakurai in terms of Japanese developers, in terms of appealing to Western audience or Western tastes in general. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of my 2 cent video, and for this one, I'm going to be talking about a comment made by Mr. Sakurai. Now, that name should sound familiar to a lot of Nintendo fans, especially if you're a fan of either the Kirby series or the Super Smash Bros. Series, which there's no doubt that there is a huge audience for that game, though. Again, it's not something I'm into as much, but I don't deny the audience that enjoys that type of game and so forth and all. And as we patiently wait to see if we'll see a new Smash Bros. Game when the Switch 2 comes out and all, I'm more in the camp believing it probably is going to happen and all. Mr. Sakurai has made some comments before in the past and has done, some videos on YouTube here and there, though. And I will say I respect him as a developer and a creator, though, even though I may not 100% agree with all of his positions, such as, for example, the decision not to add Maya, from the Fatal Fury King of Fighters series into Smash Brothers, because he believes that Super Smash Brothers is for good little girls and boys, which I wouldn't say 100% that's correct, considering you've seen people with photo mode on Smash Brothers and putting characters in, let's just say, interesting positions, to the fact that you have Bayonetta and Solid Snake, and even skins like Doom Guy, Travis Touchdown, and Vault Boy from the Fallout series, games that are from M-rated games into a T-rated game. So I don't exactly 100% buy all of his arguments or anything like that. But this one that he recently made, I would say I do think there's definitely some truth to what he is trying to say, and that is basically Japanese developers trying to appeal or more westernize their games to a certain extent. In an article from My Nintendo, it basically reads that Sakurai took part in an interview with Japanese site ENTAX, in which he shares his views about the future of the video game industry in the land of the rising sun. This is what some of the stuff he had to say. Quote, "It's not really my own idea, but as an industry trend, I think Japanese people should keep pursuing the thing that Japanese people like." He goes on to explain the success of various Japanese games in the US, kicking off a trend of making Americanized work, or Sakurai's note. You could say that there was a culture of following de facto standards. By de facto standards, he's referring to practices to get adopted as widespread norm by the industry as the outcome of the market competition. I think that they seek uniqueness and fun of Japanese games, hence the opinion that there's no need for Japanese developers to consistently adapt their work for audiences in the US or elsewhere. In other words, I think that the idea would be to make games the way you like, and those who agree with you will enjoy them. Sakurai added that it's vital for people in the industry to do things freely without letting other ideas be forced on them. He emphasized, however, that's his opinion. His opinion is just one way of thinking about the topic. Now, I will say I don't completely disagree with what he is trying to say and all. I do think that you shouldn't try to develop the game for the sake of we need to westernize this and appeal to the Western audiences only, though. I think it is important for the developers to make the game how they want to make. And so if the developers want to make a game that they like to make, that's fine. So if a Japanese developer wants to make, that type of game, they should. And if it catches on to the West, I mean, that's great. I don't think that's a bad thing. Now, one area you could take a look at is the rating system and all. And it is worth pointing out the rating system is different from each region and all. The US has a rating system that's different from how Europe and Asia normally does. So if you're trying to bring your type of game over to the West, then you may have to take into account how the rating system works and everything like that. But I don't completely disagree with what he's saying in terms of you shouldn't try to westernize your game for the sake of only appealing to the Western audience and everything like that. It's basically make the game how you want to make it and everything. And I don't think Mr. Sakurai is completely wrong on that part and all. So overall, I would say he's not completely wrong on this. I do think the rating system is one area you have to take into consideration, especially, excuse me, if you're making a game to try to appeal, especially if you're trying to make a game and you want it to come out to the West and everything like that. But I don't think he's wrong in terms of if you make the game how you want to make, you don't have to westernize it or make it as just so you can appeal to the West only or anything like that. So I would say, at least how I'm seeing it though, I don't disagree with what Mr. Sakurai is saying at all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to our fourth and final part, and this one has to do with February's 2025 Circana report. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with our fourth and final part of our My 2 Cent video. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the February 2025 Circana numbers. Now, these are the ones that are certainly out, and it's going to be very interesting to see some of the games that, well, let's see where they ranked and everything like that. Some of the ones that a lot of people would wonder is like, where does Monster Hunter Wild fit into this to even evolve into certain degrees since that first launched onto the Xbox systems, excuse me, along with on Game Pass and PC as well. And I will say for Monster Hunter fans, you're probably going to like what you're going to see. So this all comes from Matt Pizzicatella from Circana and everything and so forth. And as far as the top best-selling games, basically top 20 best-selling games for February 2025, we have Monster Hunter Wilds at number 1, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 at number 2, Civilization, I'm not sure, the new Civilization game at number 3, PGA Tour 2K25 at number 4, NBA 2K25 at number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 6, Evolve at number 7, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii at number 8, Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 9, Madden NFL 25 at number 10, Minecraft at number 11, EA Sports FC 25 at number 12, Marvel Spider-Man 2 at number 13, Red Dead Redemption 2 at number 14, Hogwarts Legacy at number 15, EA Sports College Football 25 at number 16, Helldivers 2 at number 17, Elden Ring at number 18, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero at number 19, and Astro Bot at number 20. So obviously Capcom's got to be happy the fact that Monster Hunter Wilds was the top best-selling game in February of 2025. At the same time, I'm also pretty sure Embracer Group is happy to see Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 do very well indeed and all, even though Embracer Groups have been having some issues here and there. Evolve and Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. I mean, this isn't bad though. I mean, Evolve at number 7, again, Wishes was higher, but it is in the top 10, so that certainly isn't a bad thing. Same with Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii as well. That one basically at number 8, again, in the top 10, so that certainly isn't a bad thing indeed. In terms of year-to-date, basically the top 20 games are Monster Hunter Wild, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, New Civilization at number 2, Civilization at number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 4, NBA 2K25 at number 5, PGA Tour 2K25 at number 6, Madden NFL 25 at number 7, Grand Theft Auto 8 at 5 at number 8, EA Sports FC 25 at number 9, Minecraft at number 10, Red Dead Redemption 2 at number 11, Marvel Spider-Man 2 at number 12, Evolve at number 13, EA Sports College Football 25 at number 14, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth at number 15, Hogwarts Legacy at number 16, Donkey Kong Country Returns at number 17. That's kind of interesting. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii at number 18, Helldivers 2 at number 19, and Elden Ring at number 20. Now, in terms of the top 10 best-selling games on the PlayStation, on the PlayStation system, they have Monster Hunter Wilds at number 1, Kingdom Come Deliverance at number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 3, NBA 2K25 at number 4, PGA Tour 2K25 at number 5, the New Civilization game at number 6, Madden NFL 25 at number 7, Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii at number 8, Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 9, and EA Sports FC 25 at number 10. Over on the Xbox side, they have Monster Hunter Wilds at number 1, Kingdom Come Deliverance at number 2, PGA Tour 2K25 at number 3, NBA 2K25 at number 4, the New Civilization game at number 5, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 at number 6, Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 7, Evolve at number 8, Minecraft at number 9, and Madden NFL 25 at number 10. And finally on the Nintendo platform, or the Nintendo Switch, we have Mario Kart 8 at number 1, Super Mario Party Jamboree at number 2, Donkey Kong Country Returns at number 3, the New Civilization game at number 4, Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Day Collection at number 5, Just Dance 2025 edition at number 6, Minecraft at number 7, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at number 8, Hogwarts Legacy at number 9, and Super Mario Bros. Wonders at number 10. So, in a way, the big takeaway from this is February was kind of quiet for Nintendo to a certain degree, so that really isn't surprising, though. It'll be interesting to see how the March Satana numbers, especially with Xenoblade Chronicles X already now out and everything like that. But obviously, the big winners has to be, is got to be Kingdom Come Deliverance. That has to be that's got to be good for Embracer Group, and of course Monster Hunter Wilds with Capcom. I mean, Capcom's been doing very well. They've been putting out a lot of hits lately, though. There has been some mixed response in terms of the RE engine, basically in the open world side of it, though. But so far, that hasn't stopped. Basically, for a lot of the Capcom games been doing very well for them. So obviously, Monster Hunter. Again, I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan, but there's no denying. There's an audience out there. So obviously, the latest entry in Monster Hunter Wilds is doing very well for Capcom and all. It would be interesting if the rumors of this game coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 are true or not. I mean, if it is true, it would be very interesting to see how well that game would do on something like the Switch 2 and all. As for Evolve, again, this isn't bad, though. Obviously, it would have been nice to see it maybe be up higher and everything like that, but being in the top 10 certainly isn't bad indeed. So it's nice to see that game is, at least according to this chart, seem to be doing well. Same with Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. So certainly good indeed, though. Not bad. It'll be very interesting to see how next month's plays out, though, whether they move up or not. So that's going to be very interesting indeed. But obviously, there's no denying that the big winners were Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Monster Hunter Wilds indeed. So overall, February's 2025 Satana numbers were interesting, though. Obviously, a quiet month for Nintendo, though, but for Capcom and maybe, I guess, THQ Nordic fans out there, February was certainly a good month for you guys, especially with Monster Hunter Wilds and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And assuming Microsoft and Obsidian are okay with this, not bad that Evolve entered in the top 10. Same with Sega and Like a Dragon, Pirate Yuzuka in Hawaii as well and all. Okay, this concludes this My 2 Cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about this patent that has been filled out in terms of AI upscaling for the Switch 2? Do you think this patent is legitimate? Do you think this pretty much confirms what I think a lot of us were expecting, that some form of DLSS will be used for the Switch 2 and all? What are your thoughts about the idea of Starfield coming to the PS5? Do you think it is a good thing indeed? Do you think they'll find an audience on the PS5, or do you think PS5 owners will pass Starfield altogether, assuming the rumors of it coming to their system is true? What are your thoughts about Mr. Sakurai's comments about Japanese developers, trying to appeal to Western audience, though? Do you think he is spot on about what he is saying and everything like that? In any way, do you think that Japanese developers should focus more on domestic, not trying to appeal to Western taste and everything? And what are your thoughts about February 2025 Circana numbers? Were you pleased to see Monster Hunter Wilds and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 do very well? Were you kind of surprised to see Evolve at number 7 on the list, and Like a Dragon, Yakuza Pirate in Hawaii at number 8? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I will appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!